I think firstly, good afternoon to all of you, Deputy Lord Lieutenant, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. That's a good place to start. Some of you will have known Adam personally. I think a lot of you will have read about Adam and know something about Adam. And you'll be aware that on the evening of the 2nd of March 2021, following a day working from home, Adam did what he usually did, packed his laptop away, got changed, put his trainers on, went into the garage, did a few weights, knocked on the kitchen door to say, going for a run, make sure dinner's ready when I get back. Only on that occasion he did come back.
It was football as well.
So he was close to the end of his run. He was 5 minutes from home, and he had a fatal cardiac arrest on the pavement. By the time any bystanders got to him, sadly in Adam's case, it was too late in terms of doing any CPR, in terms of doing any defibrillation to bring him back. DMU was at the core of Adam's entire adult life. He spent 3 years here studying journalism. He then had 2 years as an elected officer at the Students' Union, and he then worked with the communications team for 5 years. So he knew nothing else as an adult. And whilst he was here, I think it's fair to say that he got involved in everything that time allowed him to, both in terms of his day job, but also in terms of what he could do to help other students, help his colleagues at work, and he loved playing his sport whilst he was here as well. So when he passed away, I think the initial reaction from Christy and I was the huge shock you get. As we gradually worked our way through the grieving process, we quickly came to the conclusion that we wanted to do something which would enable Adam's legacy to be preserved. And it was a case of where do we start, really? Approaching the DMU was the obvious thing to do, given that it plays such a huge part in Adam's life. In the same way, offering opportunities to media school students and looking at ways to benefit the university and many clubs and societies made complete sense as well, because outside of family and friends, Adam's passions were his career and also getting involved in as many activities as he could. As a sportsman, particularly his football, which he loved both playing and watching. We're therefore delighted to already have been able to get involved with the media school in terms of providing an annual scholarship and also an annual prize for excellence in journalism, which is now established in the calendar. We've also provided a number of grants to sports clubs at the university to help them with their development. Rowing Club have had some sliders for off-water training. We've been able to support the Equestrian Club, and more recently we're working with both the Swim and Training Club and the DMU Sport in terms of the Learn to Swim programme, which is a really valuable skill for people to have. So that brings us a lot of satisfaction. In the 3 years since we established the Memorial Fund, thanks to not what we've done, but what everybody else has done for us, and there's some people in the room now who've raised considerable sums, I've generated something like £45,000 in Adam's memory, which is incredible. And all of that money is being used as we speak to support students here at the MU. Over and above all of that, however, we wanted to do something which might prevent somebody else from suffering the same fate as Adam. So we began to talk about how we might achieve that through the university, because when cardiac arrest starts, you need to get intervention to that individual ASAP. It's really of paramount importance. It literally is a case of every second counts, not every minute counts, every second counts. And sadly, in Adam's case, when he collapsed on the pavement, it was a dark night, and I don't think he was found by a passerby for maybe 5 minutes. So the period of time had already elapsed by which we got a chance at getting him back. So we began to talk to the university about how we might deliver what we now know as HeartSafe Campus, and we're here to launch today. Initially, Paul Hindle was very much involved in driving that forward for us. We were delighted then to get Professor Ivan Brown on board, and Ivan has been a great support for all of us and has led this throughout the last few months. And of course, Tom's put tremendous effort into it as well. So thank you to all of them for getting us to where we are today. To stand here today and to have a student-produced video to show you, which Tom's going to show you very shortly, is absolutely brilliant. To know that that is acted by, produced by and written by students really is fantastic. And I would say to everybody here today, make sure you watch it. It's going to be online very shortly for everybody to watch. And it's also going to be there for the wider public. It's not just for DMU students and staff. It's there for the education of everybody. So please make sure everybody looks at it. Please as well take any opportunity you get to do CPR training. We're delighted to have Daniel from the VHF here today, running various sessions, of which there are 2 more this afternoon. So if anybody wants to stay, 20 minutes, half an hour, and do a session at the end, you're very, very welcome. But if you can't stay today, or you haven't done a session before, what I would recommend is the VHF also have a fantastic online module called Reviver, which takes 15 to 20 minutes. All you need to do it is a cushion, a mobile phone or tablet, and 20 minutes of your time, which is a small investment in time to learn something that might potentially save somebody's life. So I really, really do encourage you to make use of that. Just in closing, I just want to say that Christine and I, through the Memorial Fund, are absolutely delighted to be here today at the launch of HeartSafe Campus. And I think more than anything, it brings us a tremendous amount of satisfaction to know that Adam's name is associated with it, and I think he will be extremely proud.
So I'm delighted to be here today representing the Lord Lieutenant, who's the King's representative in the city and county. CPR training and this HeartSafe launch offers you the opportunity to learn one of the most important skills that you can have. When someone collapses due to a cardiac arrest, effective CPR and the early use of a defibrillator is their only chance of survival. I'm a former immediate care doctor and GP, and I've attended, sadly, many cardiac arrests, some in young people who suffered sudden cardiac arrhythmias causing their collapse. It's tragic when I arrive and there are people standing round looking at the patient in a shocked state, doing nothing except looking shocked. I know then that the chances of survival of that person are minuscule. Whatever I do, I'm often at that point too late in the process, no matter how fast I've driven or run, to be able to help. But when I see effective CPR going on, the chances of survival are hugely improved. And on 2 occasions, I've arrived when the defibrillator has been used by a passerby, and the patient is saying, "What just happened?" They have no recollection of the event, but they are alive and talking, and in both cases returned to full normal activity. So on those 2 occasions, someone, and as I say, it could be one of you, saved a life. And even if the resuscitation attempt is unsuccessful, the bereaved relatives can comfort themselves with that everything possible was done. Somebody stepped in to help. So I urge you to listen well, learn CPR, how to use a defibrillator. There are several around the campus we've just been discussing. And I'd just like to say that I think learning CPR is more important than the next lecture you will either receive or give to the lecturers. So once you've learned how to do it, all you need is the confidence to act if you see someone collapse or if you hear the shouts of people nearby. Performing CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and using a defibrillator can do no harm when someone's had a cardiac arrest. And it can and does save lives. I'd like to pay tribute to Ian and Christine Redfurn, who, from the awful tragedy that was Adam's death, have stepped forward so positively in setting up the Memorial Trust to allow future students to achieve their dreams with the bursaries, and also to encourage this training. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we've got a lot of students that we work with, and every year about between 1,500 and 2,000 students graduate into many clinical professions, social care professions and so on. So lots of our students end up working in the NHS and working in social care. And that's fantastic, and that's something that we really strive to get some great results from that. But it's also important, or we also have a responsibility around health communication and what we do, what we tell those students, what we teach those students, and that's why we want this as a faculty to be a really big part of that. So that's really important to us, and I want to get that across. Other than that, as I said, I don't want to add any more than we've heard from Richard and Ian and Christine, other than to, again, thank some of you here for the work that's been done. Thanks to Daniel Ward from British Heart Foundation, who's going to deliver the training sessions to the students and staff this afternoon, and it would be great, and hopefully we can work more across the board with BHF in the future. Alan Gore, so last Tuesday we had 96 young students and staff who undertook heart scans courtesy of Cardiac Risk in the Young, and that was organised by Alan and our student welfare team. Alan tragically lost his son Matt in 2018, and Matt was a DMU student in his third year here with us. Thanks to Richard, we just heard from Richard of his experiences, his personal experiences as well. Thanks for representing the city and your knowledge and insight that you bring to this, and again the communication piece that's really important for us as a university. University is about communication and should be about communication, but it's also about learning about social responsibility. That's something that's really dear to us. Thanks to John from our estates team, from DMU Estates, for helping to ensure that we've got the right bits and bobs, the right kit, the right hardware is available. With the AEDs, the defibrillators installed publicly around the campus, outside the Queen's building, facing Mill Lane, another outside Bede House, Western Road, and when I just walked past in Magazine Square on the railings outside the Hawthorne building. And that work was supported by the Joe Humphreys Memorial Trust, so again, many thanks. And last but not least, my thanks to Ian and Christine, who've shown amazing courage and fortitude to make something really meaningful out of their loss. I knew Adam, I worked with Adam. My last experience of Adam was him trying to interview me at a varsity match in the rain, in the tipping rain, with a Leicester University student trying to blow an air horn in my ear. We were both, I'd like to think, both very professional in trying to get through that interview, but we loved him and we miss him. And thank you for what this will bring for others. So thanks everybody. I'll hand back over to Tom, and hope we enjoy what's to come next.
After what we're looking at, really welcome your feedback that you will have, because it is something that we're trying to make sure that we're communicating as a vital message in that short space of time, but that students will engage in. I'm really happy to talk through some of the theory behind some of the bits we did there, some of the bits the students sort of ad-libbed on themselves as well, but we're hoping to be able to roll that out to all our students and have some real kind of quality engagement coming back from them over the course of this year. Ultimately, HeartSafe Campus campaign is going to be running certainly until at least March next year, when we're looking at having it run into the lead up for the Run for Redfurn, the 5K that we run in March. We'd love all you guys to stay involved. It's been a really great opportunity to pull people from the various different bits around university that sometimes get siloed, don't always talk to each other, but for us this is a really big campaign that takes in looking at sport, that takes in looking at healthy DMU, and then sort of ultimately takes in kind of people who are maybe studying it as part of paramedicine. How can they be talking to our students who are studying history? How can we make sure that all of that information can kind of cascade down and really sort of feed into everything that we're doing here at DMU to achieve that goal of being a HeartSafe campus and being the safest possible place outside a clinical setting for any internal heart tissue. really big thank you from me. Thank you to all our speakers. Thanks to folks as well. Please do have a mingle, have a chat to each other. We do have some training on in here, so we've got 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Training, I know we've got some students waiting to come in for that, which is brilliant, but do stay, please do it. Even if you're not booked on, you can stay. I say have a mingle. Please do come and have a chat to me, make sure you are talking to each other as well. You know, as I say, for me, a big heartfelt thank you for coming on. And have a lovely day, and hopefully you stay involved with the campaign for the next 6 months, a year.